Hello and welcome to the Talk About Jazz program with Doug Hall. I'm your host, Doug Hall, and our guest today is Jarrod Lawson. He's an internationally acclaimed soul singer, songwriter, and pianist. Jarrod has carved out a reputation as one of the most compelling voices in modern soul and jazz, blending elements of soul, gospel, R&B, and jazz. His music is marked by rich harmonies, thoughtful lyricism, and an unmistakable spiritual depth. His latest album, just released in May, is Just Let It. We will listen to a portion of two cuts from this recording later in the podcast. So welcome, Jarrod. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. So we'll dive into the release at this point and then have an opportunity to listen to two cuts. Before we start listening to the tracks, can you talk a little bit about the central focus and the inspiration for this album?
Well, this album really, I think, underwent a big metamorphosis just over the course of the recording process, and really like towards what I considered the end. A bunch of kind of unexpected things happened. I had a conversation with my manager and kind of, other members of the team, and they just thought that it would be cool to reach out to some other artists and bring some features onto this album. And at the time, I only had the one feature with Raquel Rodriguez for Next Move. And so, again, I thought the album was finished. For me, it was kind of done. And at that point, I started reaching out to some other artists that I really admire, and got to pull in some people like Alan Stone and Eric Roberson, Cartoons and Jace Twiss, and all of a sudden I had 5 or 6 more songs.
Wow!
So then I almost had like a dilemma. Now I'm moving songs off of the album to make space,
Right.
which I guess is a good problem. But
Yeah.
So it really was like, metamorphosizing as I was progressing through the process. But
Well, I mean, that's part of the creative process, I guess, as musicians go. I mean, as so many of my podcast interviews with so many different artists, they talk about all the surprises as to how some song came to them by virtue of reconnecting with a musician friend of theirs, and then it ends up on the album. So,
yeah.
that's I mean, that's the rich nature of music so much. Well, why don't we move into the listening portion of the podcast, and we're going to listen to two tracks. The title cut is Just Let It, and then the second cut is I Got Your Back. Do you want to set up the first cut for us a little bit, Jarrod, which is Just Let It, the title cut of the album?
Sure. Yeah, Just Let It is it's a little bit of for me anyway, it kind of harkens back to some almost like a Michael Jackson. It's kind of the way that I think about it. It's like I want to be starting something type of vibe, a little bit of a Quincy Jones type production. It's got a lot of live instrumentation happening. But I think the core of the message to the song is really about kind of being in the moment and letting go of, getting yourself out of the way to allow, the unexpected to happen, I suppose.
Right. Good. Well said. Well, let's give a listen to a portion of Jarrod Lawson's Just Let It.
Safe space. Ain't nobody here but you. You can disregard your inhibitions and do what you wanna do. Just let it take control. Take control of you. Take control of you. Just let it. Escaping this momentum, stirring your heart and mind, arresting attention. It's how you know that you're alive. Just let it take control. Take control of you. Take control of you. Just let it let the music take over this music elevate you. Don't think too much about it. Whoa, music. Let it get into you.
Wow, Jared, that just has a wonderful, upbeat, super funky groove to it. As you said, it just takes me back to thinking about all the incredible musicians from maybe an earlier period, Earth, Wind and Fire, Sly and the Family Stone, Stevie Wonder, just a richness in your voice, and then the driving wonderful groove that's happening behind there. It's just a classic sound, and it's really alive with energy. So
Yeah. Well, thank you. Those are very nice comments, and I love all the specific artists that you point to. I mean, those are my heroes: Earth, Wind and Fire, Sly, Stevie, of course.
Yeah, amazing musicians, and boy, just a foundation of that whole sound. Do you want to set up the next cut? I Got Your Back, and we're going to listen to a portion of that next.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I Got Your Back is a very lighthearted message of just kind of being there for your brothers and sisters when they are in need.
Mhm.
And I think on a musical note, it's kind of fun to sort of notice the different genres that we sort of move through across this song. There are elements of jazz, R&B, soul, gospel, and even reggae in there. So it's kind of a fun little journey.
Right. All right. Well, let's have a listen to Jarrod Lawson's I Got Your Back.
Brother, I see ya. Oh, struggling through your day to day. Oh, we all find ourselves down and out from time to time. And in that there ain't no shame. You've always been there for me when I didn't have the strength to push on through. A brother needed lift tonight, and you came to the rescue. I'll always be here for you when your train is headed off track. Never ever let yourself forget that I got your back. That I got your back. Oh, oh. That I got your back. Ooh, oh, got your back. Ooh, sister, I see ya. Oh, have you got something on your mind? It's okay to say that life has got the best of you. Just don't hold that hurt inside. You've always been there for me. But you didn't have the strength to push on through. A brother needed lift tonight. Oh, when you came to the rescue, I'll always be here for you. I'll be here for you when the train is headed off track. Headed off track. Never ever let yourself forget that I got your back.
Soulful spirit and sound to it. The choral singers are amazing. Their melody and how they are there as both a feature of the song, and then they play off of your lead vocals.
Funny enough, that's actually all me.
Is that all you?
Yes.
Wow. Okay, so mixing the wonders of mixing technology. Wow.
Yes.
So that's your voice as, in a sense, the choral background.
Hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that it just adds a richer dimension to the song. Um, and also with lyrics again, I mean, we were just talking earlier about legends of this period of R&B and soul and funk and whatever you want to call it. The lyrics reminded immediately of kind of Marvin Gaye's message in What's Going On.
Mm,
When you start to say, hey, you're in some, you're in some troubled state of mind, so tell me about it.
yeah.
What's going on?
Right.
And his message there in that song, which is so important.
Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely.
well, thank you. I think that's a real rich flavor of your soulful R&B, jazz. I mean, all the different genres that you can mix in with this. I thought I would lead off with a question, kind of with a background change. I mean, you're both coming out of the Northwest, Portland, Oregon, being your kind of your childhood to adulthood history, and then a mix into Nashville at some point.
Hmm.
And as a composer and keyboardist and singer, how are you with all those influences? How are you mixing the soulful R&B vibe with a jazz direction? Could you talk to the audience just a little bit about how the two come together for you in your jazz structure and melody mixing?
Well, I really come from that lineage of kind of like the place where soul and jazz meet. I mean,
Got
that's
it.
that's the music that I cut my teeth on as a little kid.
Okay.
And my father exposed me to a lot of great music from a very early age. And but yeah, I mean, there was a very specific moment in my life when I was about 13 when I had found, as I was rifling through my father's record collection, like I often did, I had
Hmm.
found the Songs in the Key of Life album.
Mm.
And I was so
Right.
intrigued by it because it was extra thick and I opened it up. It was
Hmm.
just so much to look at and to read. And as I put those albums on, I just became completely obsessed with that
Hmm.
70s era Stevie Wonder music. And
Yeah.
I could not get enough. I listened to it all the time. And I think Stevie probably more than any other musician in at least in my awareness really
Hmm.
combined jazz, harmony, and sophistication with a super soulful, funky type of sound. And I think
Right.
that sort of became a bit of a template for me
Got it.
as I
Yeah.
moved forward. Yeah.
Yeah, great sort of explanation. I mean, I've come to music in somewhat the same way, though I'm not a musician, digging through, fortunately, a very rich selection uh, of albums that my father had accumulated over time, and being able to pull them out and listen to them and make these discoveries in the
Hmm.
'60s and in the '70s. I'm thinking back to a vocalist, Al Jarreau, and I'm thinking about that early period for him. Uh, but as such a substantial, I guess, not a rule breaker, but such a inventive artist with his voice and jazz. I remember the first time I heard him perform his version of Dave Brubeck's Take Five.
Hmm.
And that just blew me away and so I guess my question is directed towards the voice as an instrument. So what are your thoughts on the range of expression of singers that have influenced you, if you want to single out just a handful?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of all over the place. Stevie
Yeah.
Wonder, already mentioned, obviously, and a lot of other great soul singers from that era: Donny Hathaway, Aretha
Hmm.
Franklin, Al Green. But kind of also moving a little more into the modern era. Big fan of Erykah Badu and D'Angelo and Bilal,
Okay.
kind of that whole like neo soul. I know
Right.
they hate that term, but
Right.
but it is kind of a way of pointing to a specific era, I suppose. Um,
Right.
yeah, those are some of my big vocal influences, I would say.
So along some of that same line, it seems that a lot of course, the history of soul and R&B. I mean, if you go backwards in time, you're digging into the rich uh, gospel music in the Black church. And so, an influence for you, do you go back to that well for inspiration, or where what direction do you go backwards to? Um,
I mean, I'm kind of, again, I'm sort of all over the place. I mean, sometimes, I mean, my father exposed me to a lot of great jazz
hmm
records also when I was, pretty young. And so I often do go back to, I mean, Billie Holiday is just
Oh, right,
one of my
right,
absolute favorites. And it just,
right.
anytime I hear Billie, I'm just like, yes, it kind of melts my heart a bit, when I hear her
Right.
voice.
Yeah.
Um, so
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, sometimes reaching way back in there is so inspiring.
Yeah. Now, you're a pianist as well as a vocalist. So how do those instruments work together or complement themselves when you're in the direction of composing? What is that relationship like?
Yeah, I mean, when at 13, I actually simultaneously, as I was listening to all this Stevie Wonder music, I found my
hmm
way to the piano to kind of give you a little bit of a backstory on that.
Okay.
And around that time, I think something really clicked for me with the piano. I realized that I had a natural aptitude for it. And and my father at the time was giving me some kind of very basic tutelage on the piano, just
hmm
kind of understanding the way that major and minor scales work and some kind of just fundamental things like that. And then kind of from there, my ears just served me so well that I could listen to things and just figure them out. Um, and simultaneously, my father was also encouraging me to work on my voice. And
hmm
in the beginning,
Right.
I hated the sound of my voice, and he would
hmm
record me and make me listen to it back. And I'd be like, "Oh God, that sounds so terrible. I should not be a singer." But despite the fact that we actually had a pretty tumultuous relationship through a lot of my life, he was so supportive when it came to music, and he really encouraged me. He said, "Man, you got something really special inside there. Keep working on that." And so I think that was kind of the impetus to work on my voice and the piano together, almost as one instrument in a way.
Right.
Kind of get back to your original question. I think they
Yeah.
they sort of like developed as this singular instrument, kind of. Not that I
Right.
can't do one or the other, obviously
Yeah.
individually, but I definitely kind of learned the two at the same time. And
Right.
so I think that there's an inherent partnership there that for me
Right.
just works so well.
Right.
And I definitely carry that into the way that I compose for sure. And a lot of that has to do with, we lived in a very like, sort of isolated area of Oregon. When we first moved
hmm
out there, there were no other houses nearby for
Wow.
miles. We were out on this farm. And
Wow.
so I
Okay.
didn't have like other people to play with for a long time. And
Right.
I always wanted to hear the bass. So my left hand just naturally started playing bass lines down in the kind of fundamental area of the piano. And that again carried over into the way that I compose. So when I'm composing, I'm generally composing the bass line and the
hmm
chords at the same time, and
Okay.
sometimes, singing a melody over the top of it kind of all at the same time.
Right. And your message and lyricism, again, that's a personal approach. It is with every artist, of course, who is a vocalist who is not just singing covers their entire lives.
Mhm.
So are you finding yourself with lyricism that is somewhat driven by the artists who you love, old and legends to current artists? Do you wake up and build sort of an idea lyrically?
Again, I think that I come from the music that, if we're talking about soul music and jazz music, like the music that moved me the most was the stuff that had a message,
Uh,
the stuff
right.
that had like something really
Okay.
relevant to say. Again,
Okay.
like you were talking about, excuse me, we were talking about Stevie Wonder, we're talking about um, Marvin Gaye, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
These were messengers, and I
Right.
think that was something that moved me so much as a young sort of burgeoning uh, singer songwriter that I definitely carried that into who my own identity as a musician, and saw that as a very important part of being in this position of influence,
Right.
let's say.
Right. Yeah, I think that, yeah, very well said. Because maybe the listener should never feel that there's a casual interaction there. There is a reason, as an artist, as you are an artist, developing your career and your choices, and your lyricism is important. Is an important vehicle of message, aside from the wonderful driving soul and R&B in your music. Your world, recording wise, obviously is very important. And if you could just share with us basically where you're recording and how you control the quality of the recording and the environment in which you choose to record.
Yeah, so generally on the front end of a recording project, I will rent out a nice recording studio to take a band. Usually drums, bass, guitar,
Okay.
me on the keys, and just get, what we would call basic tracks, right?
Right.
So that's kind of the foundation. So I go to a proper studio, get a great engineer who knows what they're doing. So we have some really solid fundamental tracks to work with. And then from there, I work out of my home studio. It's a very small room right here. It's not a whole lot bigger than what you can see. It's a little bit bigger.
Right.
And I do a lot of the overdubbing right here. All my vocals. I do a lot of the percussion here. Actually, my buddy Trent Barstool, who played a lot of the guitar on the tracks, did it right here in this room.
Wow.
We did all the horns right here in this room. Yeah, so and over time I've learned how to record better and better and get better microphones and better preamps, and so I've got a pretty, even though I have a very small room here, I do have some very nice pieces of gear, and
Sure.
yeah, I'm able to capture things and make things sound really good. So
Yeah.
and I appreciate it.
Sure. The audience, I mean, obviously you can be the very creative person you are with your songwriting and your inspiration for music. There's this whole other world that you've got to get to know in order to be independent, record and produce your own music. So there's this whole technical side that that has to be in addition to the creative side. So
absolutely, and there's a steep learning curve on that too.
I can imagine. Well, look, we quickly run out of time in 30 minutes, but I feel we've had a good conversation, and we've certainly given the audience a solid taste of your musical style and the direction of your latest release. Just Let It. Just Let It. And do you want to quickly let us know where you're performing, or any really short-term upcoming projects?
My wife and I had a baby 7 months ago.
Oh, wow. Well, congratulations. Well, that could keep you busy.
First time dad land right now. So I've actually kind of intentionally been thinning out my gig season a bit, just to be home as much as I can. But I do have a really cool gig coming up in New York City at City Winery on, what is that, June 8th.
Okay. All right.
So that'll be a really fun one, and kind of a nice high profile show in New York City. I haven't really done like a proper show in New York City in a long time. So that's definitely something I'm excited about.
Great.
And in the summer, I've got, in July, I'm doing the prestigious North Sea Jazz Festival, and then a UK date at Union Chapel on July 18th.
Okay.
So,
Well, look, great. And the audience can tune into those different dates, and also tune in to Jarrod's recent release, Just Let It. And thank you, Jarrod, so much for being with us today for this podcast, and wish you all the best karma and creative forces moving forward, and enjoyed our talk today. So thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you so much for having me, and thank you for asking interesting questions. And it was really lovely to talk to you.
All right. Well, thank you. Hope to see you at some point in your cycle. See you live at some point in your cycle. Take care.
All right. You too, Doug. Thanks so much.